Assalamu alaikum. Towards the end of 2024, Lahore had one of the worst air quality in the world due to present air pollution. What does this entail for the future of Pakistan as the yearly trend of such bad conditions of air pollution during the end of the year appear constantly and with more extreme pressure?
That is equally true from 2016. It's not just 2024. We had, Lahore was on top. 2016 is a time when smoke hit us badly, and then, Lahore is coming to the top 10 cities around the world because of this. The reason why smog is increasing and why we have seen 2024, there are two kind of things. One is the man-made, that is about that we are continuously emitting emissions from the industrial transport sector. Stubble burning is something which is affecting us, and there are a lot of other factors. The second reason is about the meteorological factors. Due to the climate change, seasons have been changed. You have seen that there is no spring now, winter, and then sudden summer comes one
Yes,
day. Uh,
absolutely.
so this is why smog has certain season, because smog is dependent upon the condition, meteorological condition. When winter comes, when there is a lot of humidity, when the temperature goes down, there is a thermal inversion which causes smog, and we can see it. But this doesn't mean that smog, that air quality is clean all the time, and it's dirty when we see it. It's like throughout the year issue. Yeah. So the Lahore is facing three kind of issues for that. One is about the health, either it's respiratory illnesses, cardiovascular diseases, and other diseases, and which is affecting a vulnerable population. And the second part is that economic losses and educational issues also. When the lockdown and other
Yeah,
issues, not
absolutely.
every school can afford all these
Yes.
kind of luxuries, that Zoom classes and everything.
Yeah.
So we are disturbing our, whole educational cycle, and then economic losses is due to the absentees. And then, in the lockdown, the lower staff, especially जो हमारा मजदूर तबका है, they are affecting a lot of them. Third is global adaptation. Lahore is on the top, everyone is pointing out. So our trade is affecting, our reputation is affecting. So all these factors are impacting on. So the next part of your question was about, yeah, ending stages is basically just due to the meteorological factor. There is no other reason, because if you go detail in the smog is of two types, photochemical and the winter smoke. So photochemical smoke can comes in the summer as well, but in Lahore we are facing winter smog. So this is why you see phenomena at the end of every day.
Industrial emissions play a very important role in the overall air pollution in Lahore. What techniques can be implemented to counter?
Industrial pollution is also contributing. In Lahore, we have almost 600 of those industries which have boilers and furnaces. So those industries which are boiler and furnaces, that means they are producing a lot of emissions. We are trying at the government level to convert those industries into a green industry through installation of emission control system, ECS, in the short term. Fortunately, due to enforcement, 96% of industries have now emission control systems. So I think this is a good achievement in the year 2024, that industries are working on it. Now, the question, your question is about like what are the strategies and how we can implement it. Industry is a big sector, and when we talk about the sector, it needs a lot of investments. So the government is taking an approach that industries has a lot of money, and they can, as a private sector, they can help government to install such devices and to control their emissions. We also talk about laws. So we don't have any stringent laws that talk us about emissions, but we are actually right now developing those laws. And it's not just development, but strict implementation of those laws is equally important. Otherwise, this policy and laws won't work. So currently we are working on emission trading system. This is basically a trade between the industries, that every industry has been allocated certain amount of emission they can emit, and the other industry, if they are producing lesser emission from that, for example, 100 is allocated to you and 150 is allocated to me. If I am producing 200 and you are producing 50, so I can sell, because I am 150 is allowed, so I can sell that 50 credit to you. and you can buy it for yourself and then you can build. So this is kind of a emission trading system which is using worldwide, and a lot of, even India has started it. They have conducted a pilot project in Surat if you want to explore it further. So we are trying to propose this kind of emission trading system in the industries along with two major things. One is about the good fuel, because whatever you put inside the industries, inside the vehicle, input is output. So if it's a substandard fuel, then of course the outcome, the output will be the emissions. And also we are trying to install continuous emission monitoring system in the industries so that they can go for the cleaner production, and they can also go for, continuous monitoring and enforcement can help us in better implementation. Another point which we are looking for that's not related to smoke but GHG emissions, as climate change is already impacting us. Solarization of industries is the major source because a lot of energy is has been consumed by the industrial sector, like generators and diesel fuel and all that. So for that reason, we are trying to solarize them for renewable energy so that emissions can be controlled.
From your view, what innovative technologies hold the greatest promise for improving air quality, especially in urban settings?
So there are two parts of it. One part is about that how we monitor those air quality, because understanding of the issue is really important. Yeah. So we have to work on the low cost sensor because the monitoring stations are very expensive. They are like 20 million or something like. They are very expensive. So we need to go for the low cost sensor and a technology which can sense and tell us the air quality on a daily basis, and we plan our outdoor activities accordingly. So this is a technology intervention we need to work on, and we need a network of those to have a reliable data. The other part is on the solution part. There are a lot of technology that we can integrate in it. Smog observatory, we need to develop an AI-based observatory, because now artificial intelligence can help us on how we can integrate meteorological factor, and then there are sources, and there is a like third thing where are the socio-economic vulnerabilities of cities, and
Yes.
and where the urban population is located, where industries are located. So we need an innovative integrated technology or kind of a smog observatory on which committee is currently working on it, for to understand and to take right decisions to resolve the smog issue. And then there is other thing is that in the technology we can bring in more on the renewables and also the EV. So electric vehicles funding, even it's the bikes, it's the EV buses or the public transportation. So we need to work on that thing as a technology. And the other part is that industries needs technology, so we need resource efficient cleaner production, that is called RECP. So RECP technology in the industry, conversion of industries to the renewables is a major solution in the industrial sector. In agriculture sector, the technology could be like provision of super seeder or happy seeder to them, so that they don't burn their crops and use them for the fertilizer or for the
Other
biogas
uses.
and other uses. Yes, so the technology can be intervened in all those sectors. Good thing is that government is working on it, and they are working on all those sectors, and there are a lot of technology work that has been recently been approved and underway in all those sectors. So this will definitely help smog, but this is not a immediate solution, and we need actually time, at least 3 to 4 years to have a to see a significant.
You guys played a key role as a panel expert in developing the Punjab smog policy in 2017. Amongst other policies, what visible impacts did these policies have on air pollution and public health since their implementation?
So smog is something which is a new phenomena. We have seen, witnessed, not something we are facing it through ages. 20, it's been like now 10 years we are facing this issue. In 2017, when the smog policy was developed, people were not much aware of like what are the exact sources of it. There was no evidence-based study that has been taken, and this is, I think, one of the reason of the failure of that policy, because people or even the government was thinking that this is only related to the environment department. But later on, we got the idea there are a lot of other force sources. It's not just about environment department. All sectoral departments and their efforts are required to combat smog. So this was basically the reason that smoke couldn't be controlled. And there was another other reason could be the political priorities and the lack of funding and have that technology on board. And the one thing I think which counter all of them is about awareness. We were not aware of what are the issues. We were not aware of what we have to do. And we have no option left except firefighting situation that now just locked down, locked everything up because everything has been crossed to a red line. Yeah. So this is why the smog policy 2017 wouldn't work in that way.
Looking back on your involvement in the key initiatives such as the 2024 smog mitigation plan, what do you what were the most significant lessons you had learned, and what were the most key impacts on both policies and development?
Thank you. So the first part of your question is what were the key lessons? The lessons we will learn is that this is not a one person responsibility or a one stakeholder responsibility. We need to work together. Local community or all those community who are using, for example, cars, vehicles, bikes, who are all responsible for transport related emissions. So government on one side is basically responsible for enforcement and developing of certain policies and laws and also incentive based systems to attract industries in the private sector. But on the other side, the community is also responsible for producing emissions. Either it's a waste burning, either it's a using of coal-based burning kind of in the houses or in the barbecues and everywhere, or either it's a kind of using doesn't tuning of your cars or something. So this is all cause of the pollution. So the lesson we learned that it's not a one stakeholder responsibility, and every sector that is responsible to it, either in the polluting end, either in the receiving end, or it's like sectoral departments that are responsible for it, and also health and education sector. So actually it's an integrated and holistic approach on which we work on. So this is the main lesson we learned from all this process. Or secondly is that we need to pitch in small into the curriculums in the education sector so that everyone is aware of what is basically smog, its chemical composition, how it comes, and how to tackle it. So we are targeting now in education and awareness way better than we were working before. So this was the main lesson we have learned from that.